state regime media known as Fox was in free fall yesterday as Donald Trump continued to collapse the market, collapse the economy, and as China and their leaders were mocking him, you had Karoline Leavitt, Donald Trump's chief propagandist, going on Fox and literally begging China to give Donald Trump a call and then saying, look, American consumers are the best, China. Just give us a call, will you? Here, play this clip.
And China knows that too, Sean. And as President Trump directed me to say yesterday, it remains true tonight. The ball is in China's court. They need to do business with the United States. They need the best thing on the face of the planet, and that is the American consumer. And we are the best place in the world to do business. And the rest of the world knows that, and that's why Japan was here today to negotiate a trade deal.
That's supposed to be strength. That looks like total weakness to me. I thought you had the cards, Donald. I thought you had the cards. By the way, China is mocking Donald Trump for saying they don't have the cards. Then Karoline Leavitt kind of glitches here where she's like, I don't have any updates because I haven't spoke with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. Then she goes, I just spoke with the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. It's like, what in the world are you talking about, Karoline? Play this clip.
I don't have an update for you. I actually just left a dinner with the president and Patty Morin and some great faith leaders in celebration of Holy Week. So I haven't checked in with our Secretary of Treasury or Jamieson Greer, our United States Trade Ambassador, yet. However, I did run into the Secretary of Treasury and he told me the meetings were productive and they were moving along and they were here.
Then Donald Trump was on Fox and he makes this very strange, bizarre, and outright disgusting comment about the Holocaust. And he said, some people were treated good. Here, play this clip.
The Holocaust, as bad as it was, there were a lot of stories where people got helped.
Yeah.
They said there was zero. He said, all we got was slapped. We didn't get helped. We got slapped.
Yeah.
The hell is he even talking about? Then you have Pam Bondi, as Aaron Rupert says, grotesquely claiming Abrego Garcia's wife and children, who are American citizens, are better off without the husband and the dad here. They should be thankful to the Trump regime for putting him in the concentration camp in El Salvador. This is what Attorney General Pam Bondi says. Play this clip.
Maryland is safer because he is gone, and that woman that he is married to and that child he had with her, they are safer tonight because he is out of our country and sitting in El Salvador where he belongs.
And then the Trump regime had this guy on Fox who kind of glitched yesterday when he was talking about whether or not we were going to experience a recession, which most economists believe we're heading into a recession, a great recession, or even worse. Watch this Trump regime official glitch on live TV. Play this clip.
And so financial markets are forward-looking. They'll start to realize that. CEOs are forward-looking. They'll start to realize that also. So is there volatility in the short run? Absolutely. Is a recession possible? Well, it's not my base case, but I'm making predictions is difficult for anyone.
So you ever go through your bank statement and you think like, what the hell? Am I still paying for this? That was me a few weeks ago before I signed up for Rocket Money. And I got to say, this app is a game changer. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I opened it up and bam, there were 3 subscriptions I hadn't used in months. Rocket Money helped me cancel them in just a few taps. No phone calls, no email chains, just done. It also sends me alerts if a bill goes up and helps me keep a monthly budget. The dashboard makes it easy to see exactly where my money is going, and with their new goals feature, I'm automatically setting money aside for the things I actually want to spend money on. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Download the Rocket Money app and enter my show name, the MeidasTouch Podcast, in the survey so that they know I sent you. Don't wait. Download the Rocket Money app today and tell them you heard about them from us.
Back to Attorney General Pam Bondi here. She goes, every liberal journalist who called Abrego Garcia a Maryland man should be bowing down and apologizing to the Trump regime right now. Here, play this clip.
El Salvador, he is sitting in a prison, and every American should be thanking President Trump tonight, and every liberal journalist who has called him a Maryland man and saying he was rightfully in this country should be apologizing tonight to President Trump.
Can we just cut to the chase right here? Here's the file for Abrego Garcia. You see it says no criminal history, no criminal charge. So you could keep defaming this guy. Look, I want to give the facts. One of the facts were in 2019, a cop who was disgraced, who ended up pleading guilty to exchanging favors for like a sex worker and giving private data and like pled guilty. This was an individual who claimed he had a confidential informant who told him that Abrego was a gang member from the Westerners in Long Island, which Abrego Garcia never lived in Long Island, so it never made sense. That's when they say, oh, he was a gang member. He was a gang member. It was based on a disgraced cop who ended up like pleading guilty to like giving like confidential information to like a sex worker for favors. That's who that comes from, by the way. And then, okay, if ultimately you say that he is a bad guy, then you do due process, and then you can deport him. Like the 2019 judge said, just not to El Salvador where he's going to be killed. We're a nation of law and order. You go through a process, you can have an outcome, you put forward evidence. That's the way our system works. So what else did the state regime media want to do yesterday? Here, their host, one of them, Earhart, she's married to Hannity. She was there. This like other host was like eating bananas off the floor. And then they talked about how Pete Hegseth, now the defense secretary, when he worked at Fox, he would take cream cheese bagels off the floor and smear it on his face and then eat dirty bagels. Yeah, this is what they talk about on Fox, eating dirty bagels. Play this clip.
And survive in the world because there's germs everywhere. Joe?
Let's put it to the test, shall we?
Oh, bro, no!
A banana from the green room.
Don't.
There it goes.
No.
1, 2, 3,
Stop.
4,
No, but that's
Are you going to eat it?
There is so much junk on this. No, please.
You work her every day. Don't they vacuum this thing?
No, but look, the bottom of our shoes walk around New York City. No. Okay, should we go ahead and call out sick for him next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get a doctor. See, that is the wrong consistency. I'm going to be really honest.
I think I'm going to go now.
This guy is definitely auditioning for the Pete Hegseth seat.
Yes. Pete Hegseth would drop. Okay, Pete Hegseth would have a bagel with cream cheese. He would drop it. It would land upside down, the cream cheese on the floor, and he would pick it up. I'm like, wait, is there any hair on there?
Oh, no.
It is so gross. And he would just pop it in his mouth.
There's also a rumor that Pete did not wash his hands after
He said that one time on air. Yeah.
Really? In every scenario, he would wash his hands?
He's like an army guy. You know, he's tough.
Tough is one thing, but
I bet you thought that, like, come on, Ben, what do you mean? He eats dirty bagels off the floor. That's what they do at Fox. And that's what they're talking about. I don't know. I could think about some other important things that we should be talking about today, but that's the weird dystopian world that Fox creates. It's all a game to them, and a gross game at it as well. Here, Donald Trump, as part of this Fox interview, talks about, I watch people in the Capitol. Our people don't carry ropes on theirs. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. Here, play this clip.
It's amazing when they don't give you the information. When they don't, you know they're not on the right. The pipe bomber is not a person on the right. It's a person on the left, okay? And, you know, when I watch some of those people in the Capitol, our people don't carry ropes on their side and, you know, this and that. Our people aren't scaling.
Are you going to get to the bottom of it? People
we're going to try. Yeah, we're going to try. And hey, look. The Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, these horrible people, Democrats and two of the worst Republicans in history, crying Adam and Liz Cheney, two of the worst. They are just sick people.
Then Fox brings on Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, who got his start on the Real World Road Rules Challenge. And here he attacks air traffic controllers for retiring after 25 years. He goes, why do they retire so early? Here, play this clip.
We have too many controllers that retire after 25 years of service. And so we have to look and go, is this a national security issue? Is this a safety issue? And should these air traffic controllers be retiring after 25 years of service? Should we have another calculation that happens because of the national security component of our airspace? That's something that we're looking at with the administration, because again, the only way you actually can build these numbers if you add 2,000 people into the system and you don't have 2,000 people who leave the system. That's the only way the numbers work. So it's going to be a broader conversation, but we're going to focus on it. And again, air travel is the safest mode of transportation in the country. You can't travel anywhere safer than on an airplane. A lot of news coverage about crashes now, but again, we're working our hearts out to make sure everything is safe. More air traffic controllers, and we have a better air traffic control system, new investments. And again, it's going to take us time to undo what wasn't done over the last 4 years, Stuart.
Really? Because it's a pretty stressful job. What is their attack? These rich people, hate Americans retiring. They hate American Social Security. They hate people. They hate life. Life isn't all about these air traffic controllers who work 25 years in a very stressful job. You don't think they should retire after 25 years while these billionaires are getting all the benefits in the world? It's so effed up. That's how you. So anyway, here you have Sean Duffy on pulling EV charging stations. Play this clip.
Not only that, they put charging stations into this project, Stuart. We pulled those charging stations out, and what we've done across the grants that we give, I'm not doing green. I'm not doing social justice. We're building infrastructure. The last administration wanted all these green and social justice requirements that drive up the cost of projects. We've said no more. We're doing roads, bridges, this infrastructure at the southern border. But enough of the side projects. Make the investments, spend the taxpayer money well. Enough of the green, enough of the social justice. And so I think we're going to get more for the taxpayer money because we're focused the cash on infrastructure, not on social policy or Democrat liberal policy.
Show you this other piece right here where in the Fox interview with Pam Bondi, this is why they're state regime media, because they're inextricably intertwined with the regime, the Trump authoritarian regime. Here they are encouraging Pam Bondi to criminally prosecute New York Attorney General Leticia James after Donald Trump's investigators have recommended to Pam Bondi that the New York Attorney General face criminal prosecution. Here, play this clip.
I want to squeeze in one more topic. There's news here in New York that deals with Leticia James, tried to prosecute the now President Trump in his second term. I just want to read a couple of things. Criminal referral, then a response from James's office here in New York. James, for both properties listed above, this deals with real estate now, going back decades, really, appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. All right. Her office responded by saying the AG James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers. Specialist administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are. The issue here is what property she owned and whether or not she owned it, whether or not she was married, and whether or not her father was involved in all this. Without going into the weeds of the details, this stems from a case in 1983 and the year 2000. That's a minimum of 25 years. Someone had to do some digging to find this. Am I right about that?
Yeah. Bill, the most I know about the case, I just learned from you. I saw it on breaking news this morning. This case was sent to us from Bill Pulte. We have not seen it. I inquired right before I walked out here. No one in my office has read it yet. We haven't looked at it. Of course, we'll be reviewing it. You just told me more than I've heard about it so far.
Hey, we aim to please with some breaking news of our own. Indeed. All right, Attorney.
And then the kind of capstone, the gem, if you will. Being sarcastic, they bring in disgraced former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, and sometimes you forget what a pathetic, spineless piece of you-know-what this guy is. So he goes on, and he has the audacity, and on Laura Ingraham, because this is what they were pushing. The reason the economy is doing bad is because the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell saying bad things about the economy. It's the Federal Chair's fault. It's Federal Reserve Chair Powell. He's doing it by talking about things. Play this clip.
Kevin, I want to talk about what Jerome Powell did today. He essentially came out and said that these tariffs, which the Democrats are going to seize on, obviously, that the tariffs are going to, likely to create some type of recession, and that will hurt U.S. growth forecasts going forward, which, I mean, there's a that obviously the Trump administration thinks the exact opposite about how these tariffs will work. But of course, that sent the market way down. And you can kind of see this little game playing out between Powell and the Trump administration. Do you think the Trump administration needs to come out in a full-throated manner and refute what the Fed chair said today about an issue that is still number one on the minds of all voters now and will be on the midterms?
Well, what he said is hurting the economy. The market reacts to what he said. Now, he only has a short amount of time left in this job, and I think there's some excellent people who could take this job going forward. But remember what President Trump has already done if you want to look at pure economics. He's getting people to invest billions of dollars in America because of his policies.
You know, this goes back to the Trump ethos. If you don't test, how do you prove people are sick? If you don't look at it, then how do you know it's there? Like a miracle, it's all going to go away, right? That's what Trump says. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chair, is looking at data. I know the Trumpkins hate data, looking at it and saying, what we're seeing are signs of recession. We're seeing signs of inflation. We're seeing what happens when you engage in reckless trade wars with the world and you tariff the world. We're seeing what happens when China bans rare earth minerals from being exported into the United States, when China now bans in Hong Kong the postal service from shipping things to the United States. We're seeing it play out. So he's telling you, Jerome Powell is giving you the data. And who do they blame? They blame the messenger, right? Why did they all hate Dr. Fauci? Because Dr. Fauci was just saying, here's what's happening. And they go after the messenger versus their own ridiculous and dangerous policy. So there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Judge for yourself if Fox is spiraling there. Let's hit subscribe. Thanks.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.